Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and this is going to be our post-Easter show because we just celebrated Easter and Resurrection Sunday. And on my left, we have our guest who's not been here for a while, affectionately, our aging rocker, Emmett. And we're going to do a 101. We're going to talk about Easter. We're going to talk about some other things like your hand.
Yes.
You know, things like that. And you got to come back on your show.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I think that'll be worth talking about. It's 1:30 now, so I'm going to place this watch here. And since this is an Easter show, I'm going to start off with an old familiar hymn called "A Mighty Fortress Is Our God." You know this song?
Yes, I do. I love it.
Pretty song.
It is.
There you go.
Yeah.
I haven't done that song in a while, but
Wonderful.
That's kind of a classical version to "Our Mighty Fortress Is Our God."
Wonderful.
And,
Wonderful.
Since I just got through playing it, I'll let you start off the program.
Yeah. Thank you, God, for this show. Bless our time. Amen.
And let this be for the glory of
Yes.
God, in Christ's name.
Amen.
Okay. So I haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
You know, I think before the Easter.
Yeah, I was
holiday.
celebrating, St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah,
over
I
at the
remember.
Thomas Bar. That was nice. I have a friend of mine. We just kind of had some food and some beer, and it was really nice. And then
Okay.
I was actually two things. One, I was able to make it to Holy Week services, to Holy Thursday Mass, thankfully. But I was also sick, so I couldn't come last week anyway. Even if there hadn't been Holy Thursday, I had that upper respiratory infection that's been going around.
Yeah, I know.
I had it for a whole week. I had to go to the doctor. So I'm back. So I haven't been on for the last two shows.
Well, it's good that, I think even more than that, but it doesn't matter. We've had some other guests the past few weeks. And since you like easy listening, I'm going to do some easy listening while we're talking.
Oh, thanks.
You know this song, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hold on, I'm going to get a napkin. Normally
That's fine.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
Yeah, it is. Noticed a lot of, when I watch Music Choice, the easy listening station, they often have, did you know a certain artist, they feature the artist, did such and such, who was born on this date. A lot of them have been passing away. They passed away in the 80s or 90s. A lot of our orchestra leaders, I can't even remember which ones, but have passed away, We're losing them, sadly.
I know a lot of famous people have been passing lately this year.
I know.
And then we lost Patty Duke yesterday.
Oh, who's Patty Duke? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that would be before your time. Patty Duke was a really famous actress. She was a child actress. Did you see the movie The Miracle Worker? It was
Never
telling
did.
the story of Helen Keller.
No, never did.
Born
Yeah,
blind
interesting.
and deaf, and Patty Duke as a child played the character. She did the Broadway version first, then a couple years later, when she was 16 in real life, she wound up doing the movie version. But we just lost her last Tuesday.
Interesting.
Then she did a show when she got a little bit older, like a teenager, called the Patty Duke Show, where she played these twin cousins. It was really funny.
Interesting.
And, then, of course, she did a lot of movies and things as she got older. But see, she was diagnosed with some mental health issues when she got older, and she went on to become an advocate for people that struggle with mental health issues.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
stuff. And she used her fortune and her career
That's good.
advocate.
Yeah, that's good.
So we just lost her Tuesday, and it was very sad.
Yeah, David Rose passed away about in 1990 or so, or 92. David Rose, what an easy listening orchestra leader. I have one of his records, David Rose in high fit flattles or high something, really nice,
Uh-huh.
So, and a few others I've noticed, because they often, if you watch the TV, they say, did you know such and such was born? He was, already playing piano at age 5, whatever, a lot of these, orchestra leaders, and just...
Uh-huh.
I like that station, the easy listening stations that I have,
You still listening to it right now?
Oh, yes. Yeah, so yeah, I still listen to them on the TV, You have to get charter, but, it's just... Yeah, music choice, and they have all sorts of different types of music, Even heavy metal. I love transferring from either easy listening to heavy metal and then back to easy listening. What a contrast,
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, it is. I still have a kind of a cough in the morning, but pretty much I'm fine now, I'm not contagious or anything at all, Yeah, I was very sick for a while.
Well, I'm glad you're okay now.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I know. Oh, wasn't that San Francisco?
Yeah.
I left my heart in San Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live in the big city, though. Too much crime and violence.
I know,
would be
I've got
unhappy.
city burnout, but San Francisco is a beautiful city. And if you get to go to the Embarcadero and Pier 39, that's pretty cool. And they actually play a young Tony Bennett's
Cool, yeah.
I Left My Heart in San Francisco. It's like the theme song when you go to Pier
Yeah,
39.
cool,
you walk
yeah.
around the pier, you see the water, the ocean,
Yeah.
or the bay, I should say, and all the restaurants have really good seafood stuff.
Oh, I'm
there.
sure
It's
they would, yeah.
Excellent. And you can hear that, I left my heart
In San
Francisco.
Yeah, cool.
It's just such a cool, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, interesting.
Beautiful city. But like you said, I agree with you. I've just reached a point in my life, I don't want to live in a big city anymore.
Yeah, I was born, like I said, born and raised in a big city, and I was so happy to
you
live.
and I had that talk that time when we were talking about the big city.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad I live here now.
Definitely.
And that's not to pick on the big city or
Right.
people in the big city or
Right.
anything like that. I've just reached a point in my life I just wanted to chill more.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of thing. Let's see, let's have fun with the Stones. I haven't done that
Yeah,
in a while.
and you really
since
need a
we
car to get around in the big city.
I know it, yeah.
You can't just, walk everywhere, and it's too dangerous to walk. You just can't, Especially even if you want to go to the movie theater or something,
Yeah.
Yeah, or the mall or something. At least here, the bus service and everything, you can walk, pretty much a lot of places, and easy bus service to the mall and theater,
Yeah. Here's your little rock tune for the day.
Yep.
This is such a fun song.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I like this lower part.
Yeah.
This is my little arrangement here.
Yeah. What song is it, though?
Painted Black,
By who?
the Stones.
Oh, yeah, the Rolling Stones. Yeah, I never got into the Rolling Stones, myself.
Did you hear about this group lately?
What group?
The Stones.
I haven't heard anything new about them, no.
They just did a groundbreaking performance, I think it was last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did a free concert in Cuba.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
They had like 500,000 people there or something like that to see this group.
Yeah.
And I thought it was groundbreaking because the Castro regime didn't think much of American music.
Oh, yeah.
They thought it was decadent according to the world news, and all
Yeah,
of a sudden now they've got Raul and power. And
Amazing,
there's a relationship now between the United States and Cuba. So the Stones got to go do this concert.
Yeah, definitely.
And people were just like really into it because my understanding is they would listen to the Stones like the Citizens, but they had to do it underground or sneak it.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have the freedoms.
Yeah.
And now to see Mick Jagger, and I thought it was pretty impressive myself to see this group, even though they're older, doing this outdoor concert for the citizens of Cuba. And I just thought that was pretty cool. So, it just 50 years. Can you imagine that? 50 years.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Oppression and stuff in that country. And I know they still have a long way to go, just like we have a long way to go in this country about issues, but it was cool to see Mick Jagger up there bouncing around on the world news, and the citizens of Cuba were just rocking out.
Cool, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
On toddler tunes, sometimes they do have, like at the slumber set, I call it the slumber set. It's the slumber set from 6 till 4 a.m. in the morning. That's another station on Music Choice, toddler tunes, baby music and that kind of thing. And they've got even, some a whole bunch of good stuff, and even Barney music. I'm not into the Barney series, but they've just got a lot of, nursery rhyme songs.
Well,
I just love it.
For you too.
I love it. On the slumber set, sometimes they have lullaby renditions of the Rolling Stones. Can't get no satisfaction. Do you know those little baby instruments that they, wind up for a baby over the baby crib? Dun 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 dun, and it sounds like that to soothe the baby to sleep. Lullaby renditions of the Rolling Stones.
I see.
They also have lullaby renditions of U2, lullaby renditions of the Beatles, lullaby renditions of Dolly Parton, a whole bunch of stuff, lullaby various stuff. Amazing.
I haven't figured out how to play.
I know.
Play that yet, but I'm trying to work on that because there's a note that when you do something like this, we got to get that note in there. Something like that. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Once I figure out how to do that song.
Yeah. And it soothes the baby to sleep. Imagine, and the Rolling Stones were so controversial when they first started, I guess.
Well,
they were, but
well,
now it's putting the baby to sleep. It's amazing.
Well, music history, when anything is new, people usually fear it.
Yeah, they do.
And I admit, some of Mick Jagger's early works were went against the culture of the time. Like their song "Let's Spend the Night Together."
Oh definitely.
They couldn't say that on television.
No.
They had to change that to "Let's spend some time together."
Yeah.
What? Speaking of that line, "Let's spend the night together," I heard a minister talk about something similar to that. Now, which would you choose? Would you like to have a moment of pain and a lifetime of pleasure, or a moment of pleasure and a lifetime of pain?
Yeah, I would.
Let me say that again, just
to
make sure everybody got it. This is what this minister was talking about. He wasn't talking about Mick Jagger's song.
Yeah.
But the name of that song is "Let's Spend the Night Together," which that would be technically pain.
Yes.
So, would you rather have a moment of pain, meaning struggling, waiting for the right person? Would you rather have a moment of pain and a lifetime of pleasure, like in marriage?
Yeah, I'd rather have a lifetime of pleasure and a moment of pain. Yeah.
Or a moment of pleasure
and a lifetime
of pain.
A
lifetime of pain could be emotional scars, disease, pregnancy.
Exactly.
So I would rather have the moment of pain, like suffering, waiting for that right person.
Right.
Waiting on the Lord or whatever.
Exactly.
And then you finally meet Miss Right and you marry and you got a lifetime of pleasure.
Exactly, and happiness. Yeah, enjoy.
And I'm not trying to pick on the Stones or Jagger, but that song, if you think about it, a lifetime, a moment
of pain.
A moment of pleasure. Spend the night together. Let's spend the night together. You don't really want to do that.
No, you don't.
Especially this. Well, and I know that when that came out in the 60s, that was controversial.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, television had a different standard then. So when the Rolling Stones were on the Sullivan Show, they had to change that lyric from "Let's spend the night together," "Let's spend some time together."
Yeah.
So it's kind of a tamer version.
Yeah.
But no, I would want to spend one night with someone. And
exactly.
When that night's over, that's it.
Exactly.
You're left with the memory. You're left with the emotional scar, especially if that person moves on to the next
Exactly.
person. So, but hey, that's the Stones. You know?
Yeah. Well, speaking of music history, and I've talked to those on my show but briefly, but you wouldn't believe what I've heard on toddler tunes. You remember when punk rock, when it first came out, the 70s and 80s, it was so controversial, no one played it. Do you know they have played a couple of punk rock songs on toddler tunes? They actually did a sing-along, an excellent, real hardcore, fun punk rock song by Farmer Jason, Punk Rock Skunk, for the toddlers. He's a punk.
So
he's
they
a punk.
they have a toddler version of that song?
It isn't a real punk rock song, but it was a punk rock song made just for toddlers. Farmer Jason, he was talking about rocking in the forest and some farmers and all. Here's a skunk. Here's something smelled bad. It's skunk, and here he comes. It's a punk rock song. It's something and all the glories of punk rock. I have a leather jacket. My jeans are full of holes, and if I lived in England, I'd be on the dole. But the day I asked my barber, I said to my barber, I wanted a mohawk. He was so shocked, he freaked out and said, I'm a punk rock skunk. I'm a punk rock. Dun dun dun, hardcore punk rock. Guitars, drums, and this is for little babies. And that just to show you how mainstream punk has become. It was something you never wanted toddlers to hear, and now it's on toddler TV for the babies.
Yeah.
And I have gotten, even on Fisher Price, I got some tunes like the Wheels on the Bus. I got it at the Walmart, but it was in punk rock style. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here at my handle, here at the spout. Da 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 dun da dun da 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 da. I mean, this in punk rock style. I was floored, yes. And I'm an old punk. I'm an aging rocker. I know what it sounds like. And this is for the little kids. So I think one reason it's not only become more mainstream, but a lot of the people that used to be punks now have grown up, they have kids, so they don't mind singing stuff in punk rock style, hearing it. And when I was at the Thomas Marr Bar, on one of the Sundays just before St. Patrick's Day, I wanted to go because they were doing some Irish stuff at the Thomas Marr Bar, a respectable bar downtown. I really like it, and just regular folks going there. In the tape deck, and on the whatever, in the channel, they were playing punk rock music. The stuff I have. Social Distortion. And they were playing what sounded like Southern California punk rock.
Now, does this music sound like children's music when they're doing these versions?
What?
These songs you're talking about, these punk songs for kids. Does it sound like
They not really. They sound punk rock.
Oh, I see.
That's how hardcore, and it's wonderful. I mean, it's fun. It's sing-along fun, but it is in the punk rock style, and that's incredible. It's just wonderful. I think it's wonderful, but that's how mainstream it's gotten. And at the Thomas Marr Bar, they weren't just playing Dropkick Murphys and Irish punk rock. They were playing a lot of that, but also what sounded like Southern California type punk rock bands, and no one was complaining. See, back 20 years ago. It was viciously persecuted. You couldn't hear it on the radio. It wasn't mainstream, and people hated punk rock stuff. Now it's so mainstream, everyone accepts it. It's incredible.
It just gets back to what we were talking about earlier. Times have changed. Like when the Stones were on the Sullivan Show, they couldn't say the things in their lyrics, and now, of course, that's tame in comparison.
Oh, it is.
But biblical truths have not changed.
No, they have
even
not.
Though culture has changed. That's why we were talking about the moment of pain. And a lifetime of pleasure, a moment
absolutely.
of pleasure, a lifetime of pain. That has not changed as far as that aspect of biblical.
No, it hasn't.
Principle. So it's better to have a moment of pain.
It is, yeah.
And end up with a lifetime of pleasure.
Exactly.
So, perhaps for us that will happen one day as far as getting married.
Yeah. I'm almost a little too old to be married. I'm 48. I don't know
you
what...
You can always marry and not have children, technically.
Yeah, I guess so.
My take on it is like this. If I were to marry, I just would want someone to keep me company with whatever time I have left. I'm 57 now, so it's not like I got to be like teach a little junior or a little Asaph how to play ball. Body's winding down now at this age.
It is. You gotta have kids in your 20s and 30s when you can stay up late with the kid. When they're having colic or feeding or whatever. Because I just go to bed and I'm zonked out. I can sleep for 12 hours at a time.
Oh,
I did a lot of house cleaning yesterday, and I was listening to music, so I got to bed around 1 o'clock and woke at about 9:30. So, but I need my sleep and I need my dreams. I need my REM sleep. Maybe that's a new topic. I love dreaming and I love REM sleep. I even have dream diaries. My dreams are very colorful, and I even dream in color, by the way. But I need that part of, to function. I can't function without REM sleep, I don't know about you guys in the audience. I can't function without REM sleep.
Well, I don't even remember what I dream, and
I often do. I don't always remember my dreams, but I wish they would have. I would love a device. If they would make one where I could record my dreams and watch them the next day, like something where I would hook it up, the wires here, and I have a little box of video cassette, and just 3 dreams have been recorded once I woke up, and I could, watch them on the TV and play them back. Because the thing is, my dreams are never silent. I always talk and interact with the people in my dreams. Always. Always do that. Or especially even if I'm having flying dreams or whatever, my dreams are very intense a lot of the times. But it'd be interesting just to watch them. I've had science fiction dreams too, which are really cool,
Well, this isn't a dream song, but this is called the theme to the Fractured Fairy Tales. Have you ever heard it?
No, I never have.
Never heard it?
No, never have.
Never heard that, huh?
No, I never have.
Well, that is part of the Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon.
Oh yeah,
that's not
I
that's
remember.
not really. I'll do it again. That's not really a dream song, but it's a beautiful song as far as a children's song.
Yeah, it is. I forgot about it because I remember Rocky and Bullwinkle and loved that.
They had the Fractured Fairy Tales inside the cartoon.
I haven't watched it so long. Yeah.
This fairy would get in the middle of the book while that song was playing and get crushed by the book.
Oh, now I remember. I haven't seen that in so long.
Recognize it now.
Vaguely, but I haven't seen Fractured Fairy Tales since I was 5 years old. So that's Vaguely.
Yeah, that's the theme to Fractured Fairy Tales, and I had the entire Rocky and Bullwinkle collection.
Oh, cool!
I mean, it was something like 8 VHS, the volume.
Oh, that's wonderful!
I had the entire series.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That includes Dudley. Those cookies are good.
Yeah.
Dudley Do-Right. You remember him? The Mountie?
Yes,
Mountie?
vaguely. Yeah.
He rode the horse backwards.
Yeah.
And the Fractured Fairy Tales,
and
Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Speaking of which, they made a movie recently called Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's pretty good. And so I have the entire collection, including the pilot to the very first Rocky and Bullwinkle that they ever made.
Cool.
And you and I are dating ourselves because I think the younger generation won't even remember Rocky and
No,
Bullwinkle.
they won't.
That was such a popular.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember.
Cartoon. And that Fractured Fairy Tales was part of it. That's just a beautiful children's song. And I just enjoy playing it. It's a fun song.
They had Rocky and Bullwinkle briefly on Cartoon Network a few years ago, then they stopped doing it.
Really?
Kind of sad. The old Rocky and Bullwinkle. I would have liked to have seen that repeatedly over and over again. That would have been nice. That was a fun show.
Hey, Rocky!
Yeah.
Rocky pull a rabbit out of my hat. Again? No, my sleeve. Presto! Wow, this big rhinoceros.
I remember the.
So that was kind of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And then every time, throughout the cartoon when Bullwinkle wanted to do that trick, Rocky said, "Well, that trick never works." And he goes, "This time for sure." Presto!
Yeah.
He pulls out. Rocky comes out of the hat. Oh, I'm getting close. He never.
That was hilarious.
He never got the rabbit out of the hat.
No, he never did. Yeah.
It was just such a fun.
Yeah.
It's a shame they don't make cartoons like that anymore.
I know exactly.
But I think it would probably be outdated by today.
Yeah, sadly. Yeah.
Let's see, what other song can I play for you here? Let's do some. You have a request on Easy Listening to?
Let's see. Well, boy, I should. There's so much
You
good.
gave me an idea. Let's try this one.
I guess let's see. You don't know of Summer Place. The theme to us, da 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 da. That's my favorite.
Well, here, let me do this song. See if you know this one here.
You don't know the girl from Ipanema. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, that'd be a nice one to play.
All right, let me finish this one first.
all right.
This is called "Let's Stay Together." It was famous by a singer from the past named Al Green. I don't know if you ever heard of him or not.
No, I haven't.
American singer. Let me do the song first, and then Tina Turner did her version years later. Let me play it for you. You don't recognize it?
No, I don't. Fascinating.
Still don't recognize it?
Nope. Fascinating.
No, not yet, huh?
Nope.
Okay, I guess you don't know. I'll stop right there. I'll do the girl from Ipanema.
Yeah, that's a nice song.
Do you know? Well, anyway, that one I just played is called "Let's Stay Together." Al Green made it famous back in probably the '60s, probably before your time, and then Tina Turner did her version. Hers was more of a, how can I put it? Al Green's was more of a soulful, soul bluesy version, I guess, to be the way to describe it. Tina Turner's was more of a rockish ballad.
Yeah.
They're both lovely versions. And the girl from Ipanema, do you know the history of that?
No, I don't. I just like the song,
A young singer named Astrid Gilberto made that song famous with Stan Getz back in 1963 or 4 or something like that. And it's since then, everybody's been doing this. I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah, they've done a lot of versions of that song. I love
This
that
is kind
song.
of a classical version. I like it.
I love it.
I'll do the whole thing for you.
Please, yeah.
Beautiful song.
Spinning dryer, the washing machine. I love doing the dishes to this kind of thing, singing, I want to live in a washing machine all day and do the dishes and put them on the rack.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Spin inside the washing machine. Let's spin inside the dishwasher. It's a fascinating theorem for us today. Or if I'm mopping or sweeping, yeah, I love to do that. Or if I was doing homework, because I would listen to this type of stuff when I was in high school and I was doing homework and studying,
Beautiful chords.
It is.
I just love these chords.
Yeah. Dry. The washing machine. Washing machine. Fascinating. The washing machine.
My pleasure to do it for you.
Thanks. Beautiful.
The girl from Ipanema.
Yep.
But yeah, Astrid Gilberto made that famous, and she was a young woman then, and she looked really lovely. She was on a it looked like a kind of a stage, and there was a circular kind of a walkway So she was walking around this like circular walkway like this while the theme music was starting, and then when she got up to the point before she started singing, she was up in front, near where the camera was, and she started singing.
Yeah.
And it was just gorgeous to see the way she did that. She just looks so lovely.
Is Impamina a country, or where it is Impamina?
I don't know. I just think it's the name of a song. I don't know if it's based on a literal island or not. That I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But it is a beautiful song.
It is.
And I think it has something to do about the young lady not noticing the guy that notices her. Just a beautiful song.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of easy listening, they don't do, like, beautiful, lyrically clean songs in a sense like they once did.
I know.
And I don't mean that in a critical way.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that's the style. I don't know. I'm not a singer, but...
Yeah, like Lawrence Welk, the singers would always sing about romance, but it was in a clean way, in marriage, and it was wonderful, you know.
I know, and so...
You know.
Or just some love song or something.
And that was really nice, yeah.
I'm going to play something here. Tell me if you know the song. Recognize it?
Yes, now I do. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And I can't remember the name of the song. I've heard it on easy listening stations before, but I don't remember it. Oh, that's the name of the song. Nice, that one, though.
Hello.
Oh,
the name of the song.
Hello?
Hello is the name of the song.
Interesting.
Lionel Richie. I've been alone with you inside my mind, and in my dreams I've kissed you 1,000 times.
Wow.
It's a beautiful lyrics.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's called Hello by Lionel Richie. It's just a beautiful little ballad.
Yeah.
But getting back to the past, they had, I guess, cleaner ballads.
They did, yeah.
At the time. And let's see if you know this one here.
Oh yeah, that's an old country song. Stay with me or something. Don't go away or something to this effect, yeah.
This is kind of a sad song.
Yeah, it is.
It's not really a romantic song. It's a breakup song.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's an old country song, I believe.
You're close. I'll give you a hint. Engelbert.
Don't know, huh?
That is a song called Please Release Me.
Oh yeah, Please Release Me. No, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Even when they did breakup songs, you know, they were just,
Yeah, definitely.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Okay, interesting. Don't know the artist. I'm not the biggest ABBA fan, but I like the instrumentals on the easy listening station. Do you know any ABBA? Like da da dun da dun da da dun. I can't even remember some of the names, but oh boy.
I think I got my theme song for tomorrow morning on that news program.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Wake Up Missoula? Yeah.
I think I'll play that as an intro tomorrow. Please Release Me.
Yeah.
It's called Please Release Me, and it was by a singer named Engelbert Humperdinck in the 60s. I don't know if you've ever heard him.
I never have.
That was beautifully done the way he sang it, even though it's a breakup song, and it was one of his biggest hits. Big hit. I mean, everybody was playing that song. It's just such a beautiful ballad, even though it's a breakup song.
Yeah.
Here's another breakup song. This is by Sinatra. See, I won't do the whole thing, but tell me if you recognize it. Here's the intro.
Oh, I love Sending the Clowns.
Okay.
I love that's perfect. I love that song.
Okay, I'll do it for you.
Yep.
Isn't it beautiful?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that song. Wait, it's a breakup song?
Yes, it is. I think it is. At least that's my understanding.
I thought it was about clowns. Send in the clowns, don't bother, they're here. I thought it was about clowns.
Not literal clowns. I
thought amazing. Oh, in other words, a person is like a clown because they're breaking up with a girl.
I'm not sure. It's got something to do with it.
I thought it was about literal clowns in a circus. Wow!
No.
Wow!
No, it's a breakup song.
I did not know that. All this time I've been hearing it, I thought it was about clowns. Remind me of clowns. Amazing.
It is a beautiful song.
It is, though.
I guess an interesting interpretation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Let me get this middle part.
Yep.
This is beautiful.
Yes.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they played it as an easy listening many times. I love it. Even in Lewiston, they did a version of it. It's so beautiful. Yeah, several. Yeah, it reminds me of summertime and flowers and trees and that kind of thing. Gardens. That's what I love
I'll do
about
that
it.
for you too. Here's the conclusion.
Yep. And clowns, you know. Yeah, send in the clowns. Oh, send in the clowns. There ought to be clowns. Don't bother, they're here. So beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, but I could be wrong. But my understanding of that song.
It could have been, yeah. It could have been very much so.
It's still a beautiful song.
Yeah, it is.
And I have Sinatra singing that song. And,
Oh, cool, yeah.
everything that man ever sang.
Yeah.
Turned to gold.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that must have been nice to be able to go through life. If you were Frank Sinatra, to be able to wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, and gargle, and then belt out a tune.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah.
I mean, this man just had a gift.
Oh, yeah, he did.
That people just don't.
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
he's been gone for a while, and he's still being talked about.
Oh, I didn't know Frank Sinatra passed away. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's been gone for quite some
Yeah,
time.
like I said, they're all passing away, the past,
Yeah, and let's see, we lost Frank Sinatra Jr. last week.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, that was on the world news. We
Wow.
lost him. He looked just like his father.
Wow, amazing.
He kind of sounded like his dad, too.
Yeah, amazing,
It was
yeah.
almost like Frank Sinatra Sr. was
Yeah.
never gone after watching Frank Sinatra
Yeah,
Jr.
yeah.
He sounded just like his dad, was
Amazing.
playing that same music like his father. With the
Amazing.
band in the background.
Yeah.
So I think Nancy is probably the one left.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
There's a beautiful song that was written for her. See if you know this one. See if I can remember it. You recognize it?
Nope.
Don't recognize it?
No.
That is called Nancy with a laughing face.
Oh,
I'll
yes!
do it again.
Now, because I didn't recognize it, but I've seen it on Music Choice, the easy listening. Nancy with the laughing face. I thought that was a nice title for a song. Now I remember, yes. Yeah?
That's the short version of it.
Yep.
But that was written for Nancy Sinatra.
I did not know that.
When
Wow,
she was a
amazing.
little girl.
Yeah.
And of course, we lost Nancy Reagan recently.
I know that, yeah.
And I did a tribute to her, and I used that song, Nancy with the Laughing Face.
Oh, wonderful,
I thought
yeah.
it was very appropriate
Yeah.
to use that song to do this tribute to the First Lady of the United States. So that was cool. But actually, it was written for Nancy when she was a little girl.
Amazing.
Nancy with the Laughing Face. Let's see if I can remember the lyrics. If I don't see her each day, I miss her. Gee, what a thrill when I kiss her. Picture a tomboy in lace. Nancy with the laughing face. That is a beautiful.
That is.
Child.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
So I don't know who wrote that song, but whoever wrote it just has a pretty good imagination.
Yeah, definitely.
He's probably in collaboration with Frank Sr. at the time.
Yeah,
Nancy was a little girl. And of course, let's have fun with Nancy Sinatra. I'm not going to tell you the song, but I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, I missed the... You don't recognize it?
Nope. Now I do, but I can't remember. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah.
I'll do it again.
Let's see. Yes.
I missed a note now. Let me do it again.
Don't remember the name of the song. I've heard it, but I can't remember where I've heard it though. It's almost like on some TV show I heard it. Or something.
Oh my goodness, I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
I'm missing all kind of notes there. That is called These Boots Are Made for Walking.
Oh yeah, these boots
Let
are
me
made
redeem
for
myself
walking.
and do that.
and
Let me
something.
do that song one more time. Let's see if I can do it without stumbling here. Recognize it?
Yes, yeah. Oh, now I remember. It was on a very grim movie called Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, it was about the Vietnam War. Now I remember. Yeah. That's where I heard it.
That's better.
Yeah. Now I remember it.
I haven't
Yeah.
played that in a while, so I was kind of stumbling with all of that. And then these keys are not easy to play.
Yeah.
Probably no excuse. But anyway, yeah, that's called These Boots Are
That I
Made
remember,
for
yeah.
Walking. Nancy Sinatra.
It was in a movie. It was a Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah,
Very grim
I
movie.
know. They take those old songs of the past and they stick them in these movies.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
originally, she was wearing like a little mini skirt and the boots and it worked for her.
Yeah.
But my heart goes out to the Sinatra family.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
I think Nancy's probably the last one left.
Yeah.
Now that her brother and father are gone. I assume her mom is probably gone.
Yeah.
So, but she had an interesting career in her own right. And I've seen clips of her with her father when she was probably, I guess, maybe a teenager.
Yeah.
Singing with her father. And that must have been cool to be able to go on national television
Oh, yeah,
and your
yeah.
dad sing.
Yeah.
That just must have been pretty cool. You imagine what that must have been like to have Frank Sinatra as your father?
Yeah, I wonder what it'd be like to have Neil Diamond as your father, because he has, a little girl, and early years ago I heard that, that's where he got the song Beautiful Noise.
Oh.
Ever heard the song It's a Beautiful Noise, and the parade, dun 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 dun.
I think if I heard it, I'd probably recognize it.
It's a beautiful noise, dun dun dun. Well, there was a parade going, his daughter, looked out the window and said, "What a beautiful noise!" And then Neil Diamond said, "We've got to get that." He said to the other, band members, "We got to get that. That's wonderful." And he made a song about it, and it's one of my favorites.
I'll tell you a pretty cool story about Neil Diamond. And this was on the world news. They had this organization. I can't think of the name of the organization, but they're like this atheists.
Yeah.
I'm going to play some chords while I'm telling the story.
All right.
And they were going around telling the world that there's no God and no prayer, right? So what happened was they had an earthquake, not an earthquake, they had a hurricane that wiped out this one neighborhood, one of the southern states, I think it was. And so they had this prayer meeting that they were showing on the world news, because all the people in the neighborhood lost their home, right? Neil Diamond happened to be sitting in the audience of this prayer meeting, but nobody recognized him because they were focused on, the losses, the devastating losses, the crying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So nobody recognized he was in. He was right there, like almost in the front row, but nobody recognized him, right? So then what he does is he does a concert and he raises like $1 million and he goes back to that neighborhood where they had that prayer meeting and he restored all those houses there. And I just think maybe that's providential. Think about it. You got a famous singer that just happens to be in a prayer meeting because these people lost their homes and he restores the whole thing. And so when I saw that, how do you explain that when you have this atheist group go around here telling people there ain't no God and no prayer?
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
Exactly.
So what does Asaph do? I contacted that atheist organization. I said, well, how do you explain Neil Diamond being in that prayer meeting?
Yeah.
They never responded.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they even read my letter, but if they did, if somebody there did, it's like putting egg all over your face.
It is, definitely.
You don't sit up there and tell the world that prayer don't work, baloney.
Yeah, exactly. It does, yes.
Now, it may not always necessarily work the way you would like it to, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Exactly.
And so I just found it interesting that these guys could be boasting on the world news, talk about there ain't no God and no prayer, right? And then Neil Diamond in a prayer meeting. And they had cameras and still pictures showing the whole story. And then later on, the people after that prayer meeting, when they had the still pictures come out, like when they're telling the story, they say, hey, wait a minute, Neil Diamond was in our audience there. We didn't even know it. And he's up there building their houses. So I just thought that was such a beautiful story about prayer.
Yeah.
And they all said, well, Mr. Diamond, if you're in our neighborhood, you can stay in any one of our homes. He had the whole block. He built the whole block all up, and restored it. And I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah, he must be a Christian. I didn't know he was a Christian. I
don't know. He just happened to be at this particular prayer meeting. I mean, there was a lot of people. It was like an outdoor church because their church got blown away and
he made a really good song called Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show. I don't know if you ever heard that.
I don't recognize it.
It was a very reverent song, but a very happy song about a tent revival meeting and a tent revival preacher. And it was a really good song, bring the old ladies, or the old come into Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show.
I guess I don't know that one.
And it is really nice, it says, let's see, he eyes black as coal, and when he lifts his face, every ear on the place is on him, dun dun dun, and he starts out slow, and then like a great earthquake, half the valley shakes. It's love, brother love, traveling salvation show. It's great, and about the glory of God and God's love for us. It was a great song.
Oh no, I believe you. I don't know that song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I've always been a fan of Neil Diamond.
Oh yeah.
And he really won me over when he did that concert and restored.
Yeah, definitely.
That neighborhood. And I'll probably never meet Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
But if I ever did get the opportunity, I would tell him about that story.
Yeah, definitely.
He probably knows anyway.
Yeah.
But he's left the world some great.
Yeah, he has. Wonderful. Oh yeah.
Happy, fun songs.
He has. Yeah.
Did you see the movie The Jazz Singer?
No, but I have the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack to The Jazz Singer.
Let me give you the premise of that. No, Neil Diamond is in that. Obviously, when he was younger, probably in his heyday at the time. And he comes from a Jewish family in the movie. A cantor singer. And his father wanted Neil Diamond's character to sing in the church. But Neil Diamond wanted to get out there and sing that rock and roll.
Yeah.
So he leaves his family, leaves the church, and he breaks it big into the entertainment business, like doing these concerts in this auditoriums, he's packing the house, right? But he was unhappy on the inside because his father wouldn't support it, even though he was very successful. So he leaves Hollywood or whatever for a while, and he goes back to the his father and the church to try to fix that relationship. But he wound up being unhappy again. So when he goes back a second time, he had to work harder because the people in Hollywood didn't trust him because they thought he'd walk away again. And then at the very end of the movie, his father goes to one of his concerts. And even though his father didn't like rock and roll, he had to admit his son was very successful. So from that point of view, the father enjoyed seeing his son on stage. And it's a pretty cool movie.
Yeah, I thought it was about a jazz singer playing.
It was.
Oh, okay,
well, they call it the jazz singer, but it was...
I love the soundtrack. I have the record. I got it from Ear Candy, and I just love it. I love the soundtrack. It's fantastic.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
But my point is, Neil Diamond is a fantastic singer.
He is.
And he just left the world some beautiful music. And of course, he's getting physically older now, and I'm sure he's still doing his concerts.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the younger generation may not necessarily know who he is anymore.
Sadly,
I know. But he still left the world some great music.
Like I said, I love Gordon Lightfoot. I play him, every day practically.
And but you and I would know people like Gordon Lightfoot and the Mamas and the Papas, but the younger generations just...
I didn't know the Mamas and the Papas. Gordon Lightfoot I did, but as a matter...
But I mean, using...
exactly.
I mean, I can name any of those groups from the 60s, 70s, the folk singers, whatever. The younger generation aren't going to know. They're not going to know Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Exactly.
I doubt they'll know who James Taylor is. That doesn't mean that they're not still successful.
Exactly. Neil, the actual Gordon Lightfoot did come to town a few years ago.
Yeah, I read that in the paper.
And I didn't have the money to go see him. It was $70, and I was so upset.
You think $70? It's Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah,
You're not gonna go see this man sing for no $15 or $20.
I know.
You gotta come out of your pocket. You wanna go see this guy.
Sadly, I just didn't even have the money in my savings account or anything to go see him. I really wanted to go see him.
An investment like that would probably be worth it. If it was like a big time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it would have been if I had the money.
When I was 26 years old, on my 26th birthday, I wanted to see Sinatra live concert. I was in Sacramento at that time. He was doing a concert up in, I think it was Lake Tahoe, which is only about 2 hours. You know how much the cheap seats were? Probably the kind where you got to get the binoculars.
Yeah.
The cheap seats were $100.
Whoa.
And this was like 30 some odd years ago. Could you imagine that? Well, maybe even more.
Yes.
So if you spent $100, say about 30, 40 years ago, that'd be something like maybe $200 or $300.
Yeah.
For the cost of living. So Asaph didn't get to go see old Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
And can you imagine the good seats as you get?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was just way out of my range. But on my 26th birthday, I really wanted to see Sinatra. I never got the opportunity. I just didn't have that kind of money. Just like your Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, and I would have wanted extra money to meet him backstage for a backstage pass, to meet him, maybe take a photograph with Gordon Lightfoot. Because I would have said, Gordon, I have your music on every day. I just love it. I have so many of your old records. I just love it. And have a picture taken. But that would have been an honor. I would have framed that and put it on my wall. But it would have been an honor to meet him. He's getting up there in age, too. He doesn't...
Yeah, but see, all these performers from the past, they left some beautiful music.
They did.
So when their time comes that they either retire or they pass or whatever, there's music left for
there is. Yeah.
And when you're on top, like say Gordon Lightfoot, and all those people from the past, that's a seasonal thing because as the years go by and you get older, you're still popular, you're still doing your concerts, but you might taper down in comparison to the younger groups that come out and they're standing way out there.
Yeah.
So I think if you're fortunate enough to get on that ride, you better make the best of it.
Absolutely.
Make the best of it because it'll wind down.
It will,
very quickly. So now when we do our second show, we can talk more about Easter and stuff. But I'm glad we got to talk about the performers and
very good.
And I'm really happy about that. So And it was good to have you back on here. We're almost out of time. See how fast this show goes?
Yes, fascinating. Yes.
I mean, we almost did a whole literal hour here.
That's wonderful. So
what you can do is make yourself at home. I'm gonna just switch the disc and we'll start taping the second show in a little bit. Let's make some final acknowledgments here. Anyway, this is Asaph Cafe. We're in our restaurant set this time. You can see how beautiful
Yes.
that is. And we have affectionately our aging rocker Emmett, who
Yep.
is with us, and we're doing a one-on-one. Well, we're going to be doing, I think, one-on-one on both shows, and that's
Yes.
cool because you haven't been here in a while, so
Mm-hmm.
be cool. And thanks for the sandwich. I'll gobble it.
Oh,
up after
certainly,
we're
yeah.
done. So I'm going to leave it as a prop for now.
Yeah.
Since it's a cafe.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again. We hope you had a happy Easter, right, Emmett?
Yes, yes.
Any final things you want to say before I sign off?
Want me to tell us a real joke, which is already, we already have a light mood, but there were these two washing machines, and they were splashing around in a coffee cup, and then there was this one dryer that came along, and the washing machine started to smile, so the dryer got mad and left. Ha 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 ha! Isn't that surreal? Wasn't that funny?
Hey, listen, you and I not quit our day jobs.
Yeah.
To be comedians, you know?
Yeah.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, until our next show, Maranatha. Make yourself at home, and
Yep.
we'll set up for show 2.
Yep. Soda pop.
It's a good thing to have.
Yep.